Adventures of Superman, Jon Kent, issue number 6, the finale? Is that what we're calling this? The finale? Okay. So, this run has been very interesting. I think it opens up like a larger, I think it just opens up like a larger idea for what people expect from a Jon Kent book, because I think the people reading this, or a majority of the people reading this, are expecting something different than what this character is, I see how maybe like a lot of fans of like the Injustice universe would jump to this book and be like, oh cool, the further adventures of Injustice, okay, that's kind of interesting. Jon Kent from the Prime universe comes to there, that's kind of interesting. I haven't loved every issue of this run. I think there's been interesting themes explored. I think it left a lot of stuff open-ended, and that's like the point, that nothing is finite and everything could eventually like continue. I will say this is a really good ending to what this run offered, because it's kind of like subverting the expectations of what people are expecting for this book. And on a further note, I think this entire run was about that. And on a further note, I think Tom Taylor doing stuff with Jon Kent is about that. I think his entire like idea for Jon Kent is to subvert what people are expecting from the Superman son, from the narrative of this kid, because he is not his father. This story has essentially been about him trying to accept what he is to his father, like why he has to feel the need to have that legacy and be that name, and he learns it here, which is really interesting. And he does it in a way that, again, certain fans of Superman, or certain Superman fans, or fans of a certain Superman, are not gonna like. We're in the Injustice universe. Cyborg's like, yo, I have a way to send that kid back home, so if things go bad, I can send him back to his home universe. They're going to assemble the Justice League around the world to find Jon Kent. But he knows what he's doing. He knows if he just takes a breath and he figures out his entire plan, he can achieve it easily and swiftly. So Jon travels across the world. He first encounters Barry Allen, stops in his tracks like, I need to ask you some questions. Do you truly believe in what he's doing? And just like the momentary pause of like his fast beating heart skipping a small beat, Jon's like, okay, that's all I need to know. I'm not asking you to change anything or do anything different. I'm just asking you to sit this one out. So they have like an hour-long conversation in the span of seconds, just trying to figure out like what this is, going through ideas and thoughts and just sharing these things. And he's like, okay, if you hurt Clark, I will catch up to you. He's like, I know, thank you. So we got the Flash done. In the span of seconds, he takes out one of Hawkgirl's wings. Hawkgirl's down for the count. Okay, on to the next problem. I'm going to take the Sinestro ring off of Green Lantern. Okay, Hal's dealt with. That's fine. They also moved Jay. Okay, so Jay is probably locked up somewhere. I don't know where he is. And then on to the next problem. Okay, I have my bearings. My powers have full capacity now. I'm going to take Wonder Woman to a distant planet. We're passing Jupiter. I'm going to leave her here for a minute. She's going to get mad at me, but it's okay. I'm going to steal her lasso, and I'm headed back to Earth. So he does that. That's just done in like minutes. Like he does it all like fast, and like that is really well written. I do appreciate that. And he's giving us narration the whole time. And it's like they're just feeling a certain way, and I can't change that. But if I just neutralize where their fear and their confusion is coming from, then perhaps something new can happen. He goes to Damian, who's in Gotham, and he's just holding up like the lasso, like, look, Damian, I do believe that you have the ability to be the best hero on this planet. Do you really want your father to die? He's like, no, of course you don't. In my world, you lost Alfred, and his approval is the most important thing, and that's what you need to find. You need to go find Alfred. You need to take stock of him, and he will help you through all of this. I'm like, okay, cool. Damian's neutralized. Okay, we went through that pretty fast, too. We see that Kal-El's kind of freaking out because he can't get a hold of anybody. Jay's locked in a cell like, sounds like none of your soldiers are answering the call. He's getting pissed off that this kid's just talking shit to him. And he tries to break the bars down, and that's when Jon shows up like, dude, can you like step outside, Kal-El? Like, this is getting insane. And then there's like a huge crowd of press ready for like this public execution of Bruce Wayne and Harleen Quinzel. So he's like, what do you think you're doing, kid? What do you think this is, okay? Look what you've done. You think this is gonna work? Your plan sucks, kid. Look how I protected this planet. And he's holding up Jay with one hand, like, you take a move and I could kill this guy and it's on your hands. Like, we'll test that. It's like, no, that's not a Superman thing to do. And then Kal-El breaks Jay's arm. You're like, oh, that kind of snaps Jon. You think Jon's going to, like, lose control for a minute, but you're like, okay, show me what you've done, son. Come on. Show the rest of the world what a Superman is. And then Jon, going electric blue, he charges up. He's about to attack, but then he just embraces Superman. And he's like, I'm sorry for what happened to you, but that doesn't excuse you for anything that you've done. You have to face justice. You've done all this terrible stuff. You need to be held accountable for your actions. And then Kal-El slaps him across the face like, you are a crappy boy. You know, that kind of, he says something a little derogatory. We don't need to talk about it. He's like, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to fight you, Kal-El. I'm not going to do that because I'm Superman, and you're definitely not. You know, you didn't lose me because you could never be my father. My father would never be this. This universe has issues, and it's being dealt in some terrifying ways, and you are not Superman because Superman is a friend and Superman always helps. What you are is something else, and you need to be held accountable for what that is. Then he plays the clip that Lois left for him, and this Kal-El sees it, like finally seeing a Lois, and it's just like the words she was saying to Jon before he left, but it has the same type of impact that it has on this Kal-El, because he's like, yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. Like, and this is like the entire thing of Jon, is he's not a guy, and this is the concept from the beginning. He's not a guy that would have an injustice thing happen to him. He's not. I don't think there should ever be an interpretation. I know comics are just forever and always going. There should never be an interpretation of Jon where he becomes an injustice character. This is the thing with Jon, is like, he is going to find the way. Instead of going for like the drag him out, knockout fight with Kal-El, he's going to hug him and say, I'm sorry, but you need to seek justice for the things you've done. And it's just enough to like make that Superman question the things he's done, which is like, finally, you know, I've never liked Injustice, and I've never really like caught up on the book, but this feels like the type of moment that's needed to happen for this character for a while. And as that's happening, we see that Cyborg shoots him with the gun that sends him back home. And this is where Cal's like, no, you can't go. You can't leave me again. He's like, it's okay. It's okay. I truly hope you find a better path. And I hope you can reflect on the things you've done and you can change. The world's watching now. They've seen what this is. They've seen what you can feel and how you can change. So don't be ignorant about this. You know, you're still able to fix this somehow. And Jon returns home and he's like, well, I didn't understand. But now I think I get it. Like my father's hesitance to do more. Like I know why he feels that, because you can easily become swayed by something, and that's very interesting. So when he returns home, he feels something is wrong. What's wrong? Hard to say. But the adventures of Jon Kent will continue in November in Beast World. Okay, cool. Remember Beast World, where like Beast Boy becomes a Starro? Okay, exciting. And that's where the book ends. And yeah, you know, it's a little, like, easy, but again, that's what Jon's role is in this DC universe. He is the voice of reason. He is the one that's going to take a minute to think about every alternative, every action taken, and talk you down from that ledge before something happens. He is not the radical, which is what every character in this book is. And I think, to some audience, that's the opposite of what they want. But I would pose it this way. Jon is always written like this, so it works fine. You know? And the artwork is sharp. There is some moments where the backgrounds aren't as, like, you know, developed as some other work, but it works for the tone of this story. And to have, like, this issue end with, like, the Injustice universe being like, this is wrong, this shouldn't be happening, you could be better. That in itself is an idea worth exploring. So that's fine. I appreciate that. While I don't love this run, this ending is the best issue of the book. So that's really exciting. So, The Adventures of Superman, Jon Kent, issue number 6. I am going to give an 8 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.